Conservative radio host Bryan Fischer is going to argue that liberals are anti-science. Look at his brilliant comparison.
Here's a prominent preacher, Saudi preacher, a Saudi cleric is the term that they use. He is in Saudi Arabia, a prominent guy, and he is out there declaring that the sun revolves around the earth, which, of course, is obviously not true. He says the earth is stationary and it does not move. David Weinberg, senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy, says it makes perfect sense for a Saudi cleric to be arguing that the sun revolves around the earth because this is the sort of message they are getting from on high. Now, we just talked about the fact about how liberals are absolutely anti-science when it comes to climatology and global warming. This is a trait that they share in common with Islam. Our leaders on the left are almost as unscientific, almost as anti-science as the leaders of the movement of Islam.
From the man who doesn't believe in evolution, thinks the world is 6,000 years old, and he argued on his show that Noah's Ark happened. He had an expert on to talk about all the details of Noah's Ark. The guy was like, yeah, you know, the way they built that boat, they built it so that you could keep the wood together by breaking it up into pieces that were 3.7% bigger than other wood pieces used in commonly at the time. And see, what he did is he went to get the polar bears first and the mosquitoes second, and then skipped down. He got the parrots towards the end. The parrots were a tough one to get a hand on, but it obviously happened. It's a fact. I remember we covered the story on the show. This guy's going to lecture other people about science. He's going to lecture other people. And by the way, can we really be all that sure that the Bible doesn't agree with this Saudi cleric? I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I mean, for example, we do know that there are multiple parts in the Bible where they allude to the fact that the earth is flat. They talk about sailing to the four corners of the earth. Corners of the earth? The only way there could be corners is if it's flat. Oh, so Bryan, let me also ask you. He says, I believe in the Bible. The Bible's literally true. Interesting. So, Bryan, I guess you believe the earth is flat, right? I'm waiting, buddy. By the way, when he mentioned in the clip, he's like, yeah, obviously this guy's wrong about that. I was like, because I really thought there was like a 48% chance he was going to be like, he's actually right, because if you go to Luke 17 lines, I mean, I can easily see it. It's so stunning that he makes this argument because, dude, you're a fundamentalist. You're a fundamentalist Christian. He's a fundamentalist Muslim. The idea that you're making comparisons between liberals and fundamentalist Muslims, you're the one that's much more like them than we are. Are you kidding me? How many times have we gone over the list on this show at the areas where these guys agree? I mean, they're both anti-abortion, they're both anti-gay rights, they're both anti-feminist, they both want to put religion in the schools. The list goes on in the ways that they agree. So for him to say we are like them, and by the way, let me show you this climate change peer-reviewed studies chart again. I've only shown this 1 trillion times on the show before. So we are anti-science because we believe in climate change. So believing in climate change is like believing the sun revolves around the earth, according to Bryan Fischer. So I guess that, 99.8%, 99.9% of the studies shows that the sun revolves around the earth, right? I mean, if the things are interchangeable, which is what Bryan is saying, then I guess there's a scientific consensus that the sun revolves around the earth. The way that they deny facts and aren't embarrassed, there's no shame. There's no shame. I mean, if I had one word to describe Bryan Fischer, well, actually, that word would be stupid, but a second word, shameless. Not only is he wrong, he's wrong and proud.